Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome to another video from the Eve Echoes April Balance Update test server. Today we're going to be taking a look at another one of the changes coming to the game and talking about whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. And ultimately, in this case, I think it's going to be really quite an interesting thing because it's not worked the way I thought it would work, but it's not as bad as I think it would be either. It's a bit of a weird one, so without further ado, we are going to jump in straight away to talking about the anti-drone pulse bombs. Yes, that overly contentious topic that has been doing its rounds of Discord and Reddit and all of that recently. Anyway, if you enjoy this video, please let me know by hitting a like on it, subscribe to the channel for all things Eve Echoes, making sure to ding that notification bell. There's going to be a lot of these videos from the test server, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of those. Anyway, we're going to go here into the high slots on the market, high slots main weapon, and we're going to go to this G85TR and then a load of Chinese characters that I cannot even begin to pronounce. Yes, unfortunately, it looks like these are a little bit bugged in how they display. These are your anti-drone pulse bombs. Ultimately, though, I have to say, I love the graphic they've used for these. That's a really cool little icon. These are large modules. They use a lot of power grid. They are designed to go onto battleships. So let's have a look at how they actually work. And we're going to use the Mark 9 as the basis here, or maybe the Mark 7, so yeah, we are, so it's not hidden behind my video feed blocker there. I need to change that graphic anyway. So here we have the G85TR Mark 7. This is the anti-drone pulse bomb Mark 7 version, and we can see how this is actually going to work. Now, tech level 7 version here, we'll come back to the damage in a moment. Meta level 3, of course. Power grid requirement is 937 megawatts. Now, I'm interested to know, actually, how does 937 megawatts compare to other high slot modules? So let's go and have a quick look, shall we? Let's have a look at lasers first of all. How big is a Mark 7 large pulse laser? 796. How much is a large beam laser? Scroll all the way down through these. Oh, they've changed the graphics for medium lasers as well. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. The beam lasers have new graphics for mediums. I'm not going to accidentally fit those anymore. Mark 7 large beam, 937. Let's have a look at strike cannons, because those are another one of the really big power grid users. There we go. Mark 7 large strike, 10,040. Compare that to a large autocannon is about 637. So these are very large modules. These bombs take up a lot of power grid. The Mark 7 there, 937. Going up to 980 on the Mark 9. The Meta level 5 version is 1022, and if we go all the way up to Meta level 8, that's 1150. These are big. They are going to chew a lot of power grid, and they do, of course, take up a high slot as well, so you're going to be doing lower DPS overall. Now, we also have a fairly high activation cost, 180 gigajoules, and an activation time of 10 seconds. When you activate this, it goes onto a 10-second cycle, it pulses, and it's 10 seconds before it pulses again. Now, yeah, you may be asking, what the hell are these other stats again, because we've got this whole thing of Chinese characters. I have actually had this translated. The top one is its effective range, and the bottom one is how many drones it can target. Now, this means essentially you've got an 8.5 kilometer radius around your ship, which is pretty much what we thought they would be. The top variant goes up to 11 kilometers, so they are fairly short range, and as far as I can tell, there are no skills in the game that will increase this either, so you're looking at a maximum of 11 kilometers around a ship, kind of equivalent to like a shield field, I guess. We then have this whole thing, they can hit 10 drones. And again, I think this is the same on all of them. Yeah, they all have the ability to hit up to 10 drones in the area around them. So if you launch 100 drones at a ship with a bomb, then ultimately it's only going to be able to hit 10 of them at a time every cycle. Now, this is where things do come undone a little bit for me. That damage, in my opinion, is a little bit high. 386 electromagnetic, 129 thermal. When you add that together, you're looking at 515 raw damage there. Now, if we go into actually having a look at some drones, remembering 515 damage every 10 seconds. Let's use the, let's go down to mediums, and we'll have a look at, say, a Republic Fleet Valkyrie. This has, with my basic skills, now, of course, other ships, things like the Myrmidon increase the drone EHP further, so this is just looking at sort of basics here. Overall defense there of 1,464. That means 3 bombs together will kill that in one go. You'll need 3 bombs in order to be able to just remove that Republic Republic Fleet Valkyrie from the game. What about the large versions? Let's have a look at a Berserker. 3,906, okay, that requires 8 bombs, sorry. 8 bombs to take that out. Again, if we're looking like at a Federation Ogre, they're actually a bit tankier. The Wasp, also a bit tankier. So I'm using the lighter ones there. The Minmatar ones are the most fragile. If you're using Praetors, it's actually even more. You're going to need like 9 bombs to take that out in one go. In my opinion, that is still a little bit higher than I would like. I like the fact that the anti-drone pulse bomb does have that limitation to it, that it can only activate once every 10 seconds and it can only hit 10 drones, but I'd like to see that damage come down just a touch. Now, admittedly, again, I'm using basic stats there. I'm not saying this is too much, that this is going to break the game for drones. I really still don't think that. I know Delira and a couple of others have been going absolutely magoo recently on Discord, on my YouTube comment section, on Reddit, tagging me left, right, and bloody centre, saying that this is the end of drones in PvP. I really don't think it is. I think this is probably tweaked a little too high, but not hugely. I think you could drop this a little bit and it would be fine. And I know I'm looking at the Mark 7s right now, but when we look at these kind of modules in the past, like look at Command Burst modules, look at how much a Mark 9 Command Burst module cost. We've also been told through the patch notes, Mark 7 and Mark 9 are the ones that are going to be available first. These Meta Level 5 and Meta Level 8 are not available immediately at launch, they will come later. Ultimately, I think that 8.5 kilometers is a good range. I think you could probably drop that to 7.5 kilometers on the lowest and it would be fine because it then matches the standard shield field module. The damage though, the fact that you're hitting 10 drones for this amount of damage, it's quite a lot of damage. It does mean that if you want to be able to one-shot any drones that come into that area, you're probably going to need, as I said, up to 10 of these, because by the time you've had an EHP boost from your ship and things like that, they're going to have more effective hit points than I've just shown. I've just shown you raw damage compared to raw hit points on the drones. Ultimately, using raw against raw, so completely unskilled against completely unskilled, you're looking at 8 bombs to be able to instantly take out a drone. That's 8 battleships sitting on top of each other, activating at the exact same time to take out 10 drones. That's not a huge problem to me. I think, in fairness, that is going to ultimately provide a nice counter to drones, because if I've got 100 drones on my fleet, that's what 50 Dominics? Not even, fewer than that. 25 Dominics, 20 Dominics, my maths is so off today, 20 Dominics launching their drones all in one go. 10 of those can be taken out in one pulse. It would take an additional, an additional load of pulses from 10 battleships fitted with these in order to do that. If you want to put them on every single battleship, it doesn't negate drones completely, but it does mean that those drones are eventually going to be destroyed in combat. At which point, you're going to have to replace those drones and send them in again. But with the nerfs to shield fields, with the nerfs to extenders, you're going to have other ways to take down those shield field bubbles and actually be able to damage the ships inside you. And we're not as reliant on the drone diving meta as we have been before. It's going to be easier to take down a shield field module and destroy the ship that is using it, even if it's a nightmare. You're actually going to be able to drop that shield field and damage the ships inside without needing drones. This is then going to make it so that drones actually can be punished if they do get close. But even then, you're going to struggle to actually take out an entire swarm unless you're really stacking these things. Like, if you want to take out a swarm of 20 Dominics' worth of drones, you're going to need basically like 50 of these modules, and that's 50 high slots that your battleships are otherwise not able to have. They would have been dealing damage against other ships with those. Instead, they're now going to be designed basically to just stopping drones entering that particular area. Now, in EVE Online, drones don't get used as much in PvP as they have been in Echoes, mainly because of, again, that drone diving meta being a thing in EVE Echoes, but also in EVE Online, drones tend to be used for more of a defensive function. When the enemy fleet starts sending interceptors and small ships to get close, you then use your drones to counter them. That's still very much going to be a strategy. Someone comes at you with a load of interceptors or like interdictor ships and things like that, or even the smaller cruisers, anything that breaks the formation position and moves away from a battleship is going to be fresh prey for drones. Ultimately, that range of 8.5 kilometers, if you can see that there's a load of enemy battleships sitting at 60 kilometers away, and there is a ship that is sitting at 50 kilometers away that is not a battleship, that ship is fair game. You are going to be able to take out that ship with your drones. You just now actually have to think about what target you go for with your drones, rather than just going into this, and just diving at whatever. Fleet commanders are going to actually have to look at a situation and decide where the drones should be used, rather than just send the drones into the center of everything and then just swarm and destroy. Also as well, I'm just interested with that damage there. We said it was about 500 odd. How does that compare if we then have a look at fighters? Fighters under drones? No, they are under their own separate thing later. Let's have a look again. We'll use the Minmatar ones, so the Gram and the Einherji. Again, overall defense 3219. Overall defense 3757. It's still going to take 4 bombs going off at the same time. Sorry, 8 bombs going off at the same time to be able to take out a single fighter. This, to me, I don't see this as a problem. I would like to see the drone pulse bomb damage dropped a little bit. I think the range could come down by about a kilometer each. So the top one would be 10 and the lowest one would be 7.5. And I think the damage could come down by maybe as little as, as much as 5%. I think anything more than 5% is going to be too much. I like this module. I really don't think that the whole sky is falling thing here is true with this. I think it is definitely going to reduce the amount of drone pilots in large-scale PvP. It's going to get rid of the drone meta, which is good. That is a bad meta for the game. It is destabilizing the game. And those people who are just into drones because, oh, well, it's what my FC says I need to use, they're going to go back into using weapons they actually want to use. But if you are a drone pilot and you like using drones in PvP, there is still going to be a place for you. That place just, however, is no longer everywhere. That place is now a specific role, just like every other ship in PvP. That is a good thing. It is more tactical, it is more decision making, it is actually able to, you can, if you've got good drone pilots who know what they can and can't target, and they can swoop onto those targets, then it's gonna be a good thing. Ultimately, this also helps differentiate between the EHP bonused drone ships and the flight velocity bonused drone ships. Do you want your drones to be able to quickly hit something that goes too far from a drone bomb? Or do you want something that, if it gets hit by a drone bomb, actually shrugs it off a lot more? It's an interesting choice now between a Myrmidon and a Prophecy, for example. The Myrmidon, the drones with the EHP bonus, are going to be able to take more bomb hits. They're going to be more survivable against those bombs. Thus, you can actually probably run those into a drone bomb ship, just tank the damage for long enough to wipe it out with your drones. But if you've got the speed ones, you can catch things that get out of that area, that move too far away from a drone bomb ship, and I like this. I really like this, and the more I talk about it, the more I like it. I kind of am convincing myself as I go here. But definitely, whatever your thoughts and opinions are here, the fact that these are really quite short range, the fact that they require a lot of stacking to be able to just one-shot drones, you're going to need, as I said, upwards of 8 or 10 of these to one-shot 10 drones at once. That's it. That whole thing of, they can take out every single drone on the battlefield is categorically false. It is not the case. The fact that, every ship will just have one of these isn't going to be enough either. You are going to have to stack these onto particular ships. You're going to want something like a Hyperion sitting right at the middle with a whole ton of these, 8 of these in the high slots, and then any drones that come near, it will do a significant amount of damage to. It will one-shot. That one Hyperion fitted with just those will counter any drones that come nearby, almost, unless they're, heavy EHP drones. But that Hyperion does nothing else. So, oh look, they've stopped sending drones over this way and they're shooting drones at the guys over that way. That Hyperion is now useless for the rest of the fight. I like this, but it's not just about me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how this gets tweaked and changed for live. I'm looking forward to doing a full Catskull Academy video where I can demonstrate these in action as well. I really like these as a module. I think it is fit for the cause of reducing the drone meta whilst not removing drones from large fleet PvP entirely. And for fighters, there are already better ways to take out fighters, in my opinion, than this. I was talking to Nina about this, and he mentioned, just battleships basically will quite gladly take out fighter swarms. There are all kinds of ways to do that. The drone bombs, I think, are a really good addition to the game, but let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below as well. I'd love to know what you guys think. Anyway, folks, happy sailing, good luck on the test server, and see you in New Eden.